Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. My name is Diana Wright, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Well, now, what are we going to talk about today? It's been pressing on my spirit, and I really need to talk to you about love. Yeah, not because Valentine's Day is coming up or anything of that nature, but just simply because love, for me, and I think for most people, is just the most powerful thing that there is on the planet. It's the most powerful emotion. It's a thing that we all need, want, strive for, want to get, want to experience. But then there's so many twists and turns about love. I want to talk about love with your parents, because one of the reasons I decided to do this show is because in all my years of doing television shows and radio talk shows and all that kind of stuff, it dawns on me every single time that women and girls especially simply don't love who they are. They're either trying to change their eye color, their skin color by lightening their skin tone, bleaching their skin with all these bleaching creams, and they have to have long hair. Most black women now have long hair, and you're not quite sure whose hair is real and who is not. Frankly speaking, you have to kind of look, because it depends on if they are wearing synthetic hair or human hair, or simply just wearing a wig, right? So I simply question that. And I also go back to thinking about the women and men who are pounced on by their parents with negative words. The words like, you won't amount to nothing. You were an accident. Oh, I didn't really want to have any children, but you came along so. And we simply don't understand, or I don't know if we don't understand, or we're just not thinking, or we just spew from the mouth, or we're not willing to see into our children's hearts and know that they're broken when we tell them these things. And the words that you say to your children truly don't go away. They sit in their unconscious, subconscious mind, and it's there. It blocks them from having great relationships, whether it's a love relationship or it's just a friendship, because they simply are not feeling your love, so hence they're not loving who they are, so the cycle just continues. And when they have children, they really don't know how to show love. I think we each should tell our children every single day that we love them. Make sure they're loving themselves by just asking. You simply ask, how do you feel about yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you love your hair? Do you love your color? Do you love who you are? Do you love your blackness, your whiteness, your Indianness, your Chinese? Because, Chinese people, yeah, they have straight hair too. But if you listen to the Chinese people, they're worried about their eyes and their noses and all kinds of things. Indians worry about how they age, how they look. Yeah, we all think that it's greener on the other side. But is it really greener on the other side? And should we simply, as mothers and fathers, teach our children to love who they are and be mindful of the words, the negative words that we're pressing into our children? The words that constantly bug them, and they carry it along with them until they become adults. And yes, men, when you're absent from your children's lives, whether you're there and you're really not there, or you're not there, period, how that affects your daughters. Because your daughters are in love with you first before they're in love with any other man that they will encounter later on. So that relationship is crucial. Now, I don't know my dad, and I'm sure it affects me in some way, especially with my relationships with men, because you are always trying to get that fatherly love that you think you never had, or you missed, or you're lacking. So I applaud the fathers who are now trying to find their children and go back into their children's lives and give the love that they can at that particular time. And the children should be open to this, I think. That's just my opinion. Some kids choose not to be open and close out their parent, whether it's a mother or a father who left. If it's for the fact that you feel that they left you and they didn't want you and whatever, you need to hear them out. Why did they actually leave? What was their reason for leaving? Everyone needs to have their day in court, I think. So I really want to look at love today and what it means to you, and the words that we place behind the word love when we say it. I also want to introduce to you a new ministry that I've discovered called Faith, Hope, and Love Ministries. And if you're in the West Palm Beach area or the North Palm Beach area, you might want to check them out. They're at 801 North Point Parkway in Suite 80. That's in West Palm Beach. And of course, the number to call if you need further information from them is 561-628-2630. That's 561-628-2630, and you can tell them that Diana Wright McLaughlin told you about their ministry. It's called Faith, Hope, and Love Ministry. It's a very small ministry, but they're not in the preaching of the government kind of way that, you know, most churches have rules and regulations, and you have to wear this and you can't wear that, and you have to dress this way and that way. And they simply say that their mission is to install faith to those who are willing to seek the Lord diligently, give hope, knowing that God can do anything but fail. God cannot fail because He promised. And to exercise and show love, because love is the greatest of all, absolutely so, to acknowledge Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. They welcome you to come and share in their service. Their service starts at 10 a.m. to 12, and they promise you it will only be 2 hours. So you can give, that's Pastor Joyce and Pastor James, of course, a husband and wife team, and it's Faith, Hope, and Love Ministries, and you can give them a call at 561-628-2630. And I should always remember when I'm reading these fine things, I need to put my glasses on. Okay, so from 10 to 12, they're inviting you to come and join them at Faith, Hope, and Love Ministries. And they promise to give you love, because love, of course, as I just said, is the greatest thing of all, the greatest emotion, the power of love. That's one word that we put. Celine Dion sings that song more beautifully than anyone else. The power of love. Are you loving yourself this morning? And that's the reason I decided to do this show, because I wanted to kind of just give women and girls, especially boys and men, are not left out, because you have boys and men who don't love who they are. Don't be fooled by the fact that they're going out and they're having all the girls and they're handsome and they're doing things, and you think that, ooh, that guy is loving himself. No, they have their own problems too, especially later in life when men are questioning their libido, the fact that their penis might be failing them. and they're not able to please their significant others, their wife, their spouse, their whatever. Just think about that. So men, indeed, we women believe that they have no problems and they don't, hurt and they don't feel pain and, then they just hurt you and move along. That's a lie and a pretense and a hypocrisy, because men have the same emotional need for love like you and I. And young girls, please do not attach your existence and the love of yourself to finding love from a man. Because if you don't love yourself and who you are, then how can you expect love to come to you? How can you expect people to love you when you don't love who you are? They will see right through that. And I just want to, give a shout out this morning to Brother Dwayne Barrett. He's also going to the ministry that is being discovered, Faith, Hope, and Love Ministries. And his name is Dwayne Barrett. And of course, he's in the real estate business. He does property management and real estate services. So I invite you to give him a call. I know what do you call it now? The real estate business is kind of iffy these days. They tell you one thing and you're seeing one thing, and maybe places like Atlanta where, housing is picking up, then they assume that everywhere else it's picking up, and that's not true either. So you can give Brother Dwayne a call at 561-577-0799. That's 561-577-0799, and he deals with real estate, so you can give him a call. Let him tell you what's really going on in the market. I think I'm going to ask Brother Dwayne to come on and tell us what's really going on in the real estate market. Is it as booming as they say it is, or is it really just still struggling along? People are being foreclosed, put out of their houses, and people are just having problems. All right, so he is into property management and real estate services, so you might want to give Brother Dwayne Barrett a call. All right, so coming back to our focus today, and it's not, like I said, because it's Valentine's Day and because I'm trying to push my I Love Me Day, which I think is more important than Valentine's Day, because when you love yourself, that day you're going to do something special for you. Because sometimes you look around and you say to yourself, oh, I'm doing for my husband, I'm doing for my wife, I'm doing for my boyfriend, I'm doing for my girlfriend, I'm doing for my children, my family. But what am I really doing for me? What are you willing to really do for yourself on that day, which I have declared to be an international day called I Love Me Day? April 30th, 2014 is the second year. Last year we launched it and it was, was received well. People bought the t-shirts, and it's not about the t-shirts and me selling t-shirts. It's about helping you from getting out of that place, wherever the place that you're in, that make you think that because your mother told you that you will be worth nothing, you still harbor that thought in your mind and you don't love who you are. The friend who degraded you. Like how Governor Christie is trying to degrade Mr. Wildstein because he thinks Mr. Wildstein is going to say the truth and speak the truth, and maybe, just maybe, we will find out what's going on. So he's going to just kind of muddle the water about Mr. Wildstein before anyone goes on trial or anything. So we can start thinking, oh, this guy is not such a good guy, so we shouldn't believe him. So we harbor those things. And there are a lot of men and women who are not comfortable with the way they look. And I'm not saying don't go and get a facelift. I'm not saying don't go and do your eyes or your nose, or because Nene Leakes did her nose. Not that there was a problem with her nose prior, but after the nose job, she seemed to look better, feel better about herself. So that's fine. But you must, no matter how many changes you make to your outer self and how much hair you buy and weave into your head, that's not going to make you love who you are more. You should love who you are first. And then, if you need to make adjustments, no one is saying don't make adjustments. No one is saying don't change your things or whatever you feel that you're not satisfied with. But even with a new nose, do you think you're going to love yourself any better? Absolutely not. Do you think you're going to love yourself better if you have some weave on, whether it's human hair or synthetic? Because people can see that little thing right here to know that it's not yours. And by the way, I just wanted to, I put up to the camera, that's the bookmark from the ministry. So we just want to put it up there so you can see it. Yeah, that's a bookmark. I have some, so if you want to get some, you can call me. I'll get you one. I've been giving them out, yeah. So anyway, let's talk about love right now, because love, seriously, Valentine's Day is coming up and everyone is getting nervous about, what am I going to buy for this person? You know, husbands, should you give chocolates? Should you give flowers? No, I'm not into the flowers thing, because they die the next day and you pay all that money for them. So yeah, think of something else. Be creative. Men, you just need to be creative. And women, I guess you need to be creative too. I'm not saying that it's only on the guy's part now. You know, women need to contribute, right? But love is really something you can control. It truly is. Because women, sometimes when you fall in love, you do the craziest things. And then when you realize that the guy is just really not that into you, then you start demonizing him and all that kind of stuff. And even we can talk about divorces too, because when you fall out of love with someone or you outgrow someone, then you become mean-spirited and you are calling them this and that, and oh, maybe he was gay or he is gay or this and that, and you just destroyed that other person because of the fact that you truly did not love who you are. And it stems from that. So we're going to take a break and come back in just a moment as we continue the conversation about love. If you want to join the conversation, 561-228-1921. That's the number to call. But if not, just listen up. And when we put this back on our website at dianawrighttv.webs.com, you will be able to see it. We also try to post some of the shows on Facebook. So I know that people who are living in Africa and all around the world are not able to log in, or even in Jamaica, some people cannot log in. So, but I know you can log into Facebook, that's for sure. So we'll take a small break and come back to you in just a moment. This is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you so much for joining us today, and we welcome you from around the world and in the United States. Back in a moment.
One-to-one discuss-ish around the world that includes sex. Okay, seems like we're having a little difficulty there with our video, but we'll go back to that later on in the program. And we thank you so much for joining us. This is Diana Wright Show Live, and we're just trying to lift you up. Get away the negative voices from your head. Speak positive into you, because you can succeed at whatever you want to do. And believe me, even if your mother doesn't love you, you can still find love for yourself. Your father doesn't love you, you can still love yourself. I am telling you that is possible. So if you are there beaten down on yourself and said, oh, my mom left me, she gave me up for adoption, that means she didn't love me, or she told me this and she told me that, and you know, it kind of bugs me because I still don't love who I am. I am here to encourage you and ask you to just look in the mirror and say 3 magic words. You just can't imagine how much they affect you. Look into your phone if you don't have a mirror. I love me. And I want you to say it with passion. And just the same fervor that you give to Valentine's Day, I want you to give this to I Love Me Day come April. Come April 30th, 2014, I want you to love yourself.
and you will truly find how much love comes to you. It's so much easier for you to give love, not only to your children, but to your significant other, your spouse, your parents, your friends, and your family. It's so much easier when you're in content with yourself. Who you are, who God truly made you to be. He didn't make you to think about all the negative stuff all the time. God said He wanted us to have life and have it in abundance. So does it mean that He wanted to have an abundant life of self-hate? Absolutely not. And as we drift into hate, we drift into malice and envy. Why do we get into those things? We get into those things because we truly don't love who we are. We're envious of someone else because we think they're beautiful or their life seems so wonderful and ours is kind of just faltering. But do you know that everyone has a story? And those women who you see looking like they're happy and lovey-dovey and they're living in a mansion, oh my goodness, just meet them in a corner and start hearing their story, and the tears will come flooding down, and their hearts will open, and their mouth will begin to tell you how much it's all a pretense. But it doesn't stay a pretense when you actually love who you are. Because yes, I can pretend to be happy in my marriage when I'm miserable. Because my husband is controlling, or as the lady says, my husband is controlling. He wants to tell me what to do, what to wear, what not to do. But if you love yourself, you just say, I got this. It's all good. It is all good because I love me. So, what are some of the words that we can attach to the word love? Love can be very unexpected. Yeah, sometimes, you're not looking for love and it finds you. And that's the way I think we should approach love. Don't be looking for love or looking for a guy on all those Match.com and whatever. And looking for a woman on there. Love comes unexpectedly. Love can sometimes be uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to talk about love, Have you ever asked your spouse, do you love me? And if they really don't love you, you can see how they squirm to answer the question. And then they will ask you the same thing. Even if you ask your children, do you love me? Do you love your mother? Love is an uncomfortable topic, just like sex and hate and truth. It's right up there. Uncomfortable for people to talk about. But we just can't seem to do without it. We continue to seek it, and it seems elusive to some of us. But if sometimes we just sit back, love ourselves, cherish ourselves, thank God for how He made us, believe in ourselves and our own passion and our own talents, and see how love comes so easy. Love can be clumsy. Oh yeah. Some guys are clumsy. They don't know how to say I love me. They don't know what to buy. They don't know what to do for you. Women too, they get tongue-tied and flustered and sweating and talking crap too sometimes, and foolish stuff. But when you meet someone and you're going on that first date, my tip and my advice to you, tell them who you are. Tell the person what you're looking for. Tell them all your faults and your quirks. And allow that person to decide, will there be a second date or a third date or no date for that matter. Because if someone is truly into you and want to be with you, they will love you for not only who you are, but they will love your faults too and all your shortcomings. You can't just love the good things in someone. You have to love them for who they are. They come as a package. You know, some people talk about, oh, I'm learning to love you. I don't want anybody to learn to love me. I already love me. And I know my mother loves me. That's for sure. So you have certain love that you are sure of. A lot of people are not sure of their mother's love even, or their father's love. I'm not sure of no father's love because I don't know who he is. So how can I be sure of his love? The fact that you are birthed because of a sperm getting into someone's ovaries, it doesn't mean that that person must love you or must be a part of your life. It is wonderful if they are, because it kind of solidifies the fact that they're there, and you can actually see if they love you, because love is not a word that you just say, you know. Love is an action word. So I want people to show me that they love me. I don't want them to just say, I love you, Diana, I love you, I love you. And what do you love about me? Why do you love me? What have you done for me lately to show me that you love me? So, love can be clumsy. And love can be hard to find. Absolutely, especially true love. You know, not the fake kind of love. The people who just love you for what you can do for them at that moment. The love for people who want to be with you because of who you are. Not that kind of love. True love. That's spelled T-R-U-E. That's the kind of love that I want around me. And you know, some people tell you that they love you, but when you have your tragedies and your troubles, they're nowhere to be found. Because, oh, they can't deal with your tragedy. Oh, they don't know what to say. They didn't really care about you in the first place. Because when you can go through the trenches with your loved ones, the people who love you, who can guide you through, who can call and give you a kind word, because sometimes all you need is a kind word on the phone or a hug in person. That's all you need sometimes, to let someone know you truly love them. Because you can actually feel someone's love for you when you're around them, you know. It's not elusive. You feel it. You sense it. You know it. And when they're falling out of love for you, you can certainly feel that too. And you know it. It's there. It's plain. It's obvious. Wow. So we're going to go down some more words of love. Hard to find. Yes, true love is really, really hard to find. And when you find it, you need to hold on to it. But just allow it to breathe now. You can't hold on to it by saying, oh, you can't talk to this one, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can't suffocate the person that you love. You have to allow that person to breathe. You know, I look at all the friendships of women, and I see how much jealousy there is amongst the friendships. Oh, you should have a friend that you love that friend, and you and that friend have special moments. What concern is it of you that that person has another friend that they love in another way? None of your business. You cannot suffocate people with your love. They're not just there meant for you, because you have romantic love, you have friendship love, you have love for your children, love for your, mother, father, distant relatives. Some of them you'd like to just not love because of the way they behave. But aren't we all just seeking love? I'm going to try to take a break again and see if we can actually get this going, because I don't know why things are getting a little frozen around here. Maybe it's too cold in Florida. Let's try it again.
1921. Wherever you are around the world and in the United States, please join the conversation. Give me a call at 5X.
And life in general. So join me Monday through Friday, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921.
1921.
Wherever you are around the world and in the United States, please join the conversation. Give me a call at 561-228-1921. We discuss issues around the world that includes love, sex, and life in general. So join me Monday through Friday, 561-228-1921. That's 561-228-1921.
All right, we're back. We're not sure how that worked out, but I'll find out when I rerun the tape. You know, like a lot of people who say things, they forgot they said the things, and then CNN will go back and find it, or MSNBC will go back and find the thing, and woo, what did you say then? Like some of these politicians, they're another one. They are so, I'm going to get to them in a minute. But let's just finish the positive parts about love and things that, the words that we attach to love and how that should affect us in this love season, because Friday is Valentine's Day. And who is your Valentine anyway? Shouldn't it be just your spouse or your significant other? All of a sudden, Valentine's now is being stretched to friends and family and I'm not so sure about that. I just think Valentine's should be just between you and your spouse or your significant other. You know, when your children go to school and they talk about, oh, you know, who's your Valentine? I don't want my daughter to be having no Valentine in preschool. No. Valentine's Day is, to me, an adult thing, you know. People are truly having Valentines. Anyway, so we did unexpected, uncomfortable to talk about, clumsy. We did hard to find real love. Love can be sudden. Do you know that? You can just suddenly find love, get love, but you must begin with the love of yourself. So yeah, it can come sudden when you least expect it. Love can be elevating. Oh my God. When you're in love, oh, life, everything is about life is wonderful. Have you noticed that? Both men and women, boys and girls. You have twinkle in your eyes. Girls do, women do. Oh, they, you know, stand a little taller. They walk a little straighter. They dress up and they make themselves always look good when they're in love. None of that frumpy stuff. Yeah. Love can be elevating. Think about that. Love can be wild. You know, someone is pursuing you for that love thing, and they're wild. They're taking you to Paris on their jet, and, you know, they're taking you on picnics to the park, and they're providing you with jewels and gifts and wonderful things. It can be wild. But do we expect that it's always going to be wild? Love can be so adrenaline rush. Oh yeah, and some people, when they're in love, the sex is wonderful and it's woo, it's powerful. But when that wildness wears off and you come down to reality, are we all willing to stay in the trenches with that love? There's no sex jumping off the chandeliers. There's no wild sex. There's no crazy sex in the bathroom, in the plane bathroom, on the dining table. Oh, and I'm just opening up your imagination right now. But when you come down to settling, being married, living together, if that's your choice, I don't accept that, because, you know, you shouldn't just be giving it away for free when you can mean. Some people don't believe in marriage, so that's okay too. Settle for what you believe in and act it, show it. But once that pie in the sky, exhilarating wildness is toned down to reality, do you ask yourself,
Is this what life is? The routine of life? You go to work, you come home, you cook, you clean, you wash, you iron, you make love, kind of sort of make love, because the love that you make now is nothing in comparison to the love that you used to make. So love can indeed be wild. Love can be a declaration, you know, like when you see those skywritings about, I love you, Mary. Happy birthday, Mary. Happy birthday, John and Tom and whatever. So yes, it can be a declaration of love, or you see your lover put something in the newspaper telling you how much they love you. Declaration of love. And love can be thrilling. Oh yes, it can be such a thrill to be in love. Ha! Those dates, those first dates when you're charmed and, you know, courted, and the doors open for you ladies, and you go in and you feel great, and it's open for you too. Yeah. And the chair is pulled out when you get to the restaurant, and he's ordering the best wine, and yes, it can be thrilling. But we must understand that that kind of love, the thrill of love, is temporary. Are there any couples out there who have love thrilling all the time? Please let me know. Are there couples out there having sex every day all the time, and they're happy all the time? They're not fighting, they're not quarreling, they're not want to kick you out of bed when you're snoring? Tell me please, how many of those loves are out there? So it can be thrilling, but we need to come back to reality. And when we're back in the real world, we are wondering about the love of ourselves, for ourselves. Because at that time when it's not so thrilling anymore, we're wondering, did he really love me, or was he just trying to get into my pants? Huh? Or does she really love me, or does she just love me for my money? We need to think about those things. We need to discuss it. Expectation is a hell of a thing. So love can also be very stressful. How do I top the thing I did yesterday? Can I have better sex tonight than I had last night? Could I buy her a bigger diamond next year than the one I bought her yesterday? A bigger house? What's the next thrill gonna be that I will give to her? Or to him? Because a lot of women use their vaginas to control men. And if we look at a lot of the women who marry wealthy men and they are really poor, the women themselves, are they marrying for love, or are they marrying for that money that that guy has? And as I watched Beverly Hills Housewives last night, and Carlton said, oh, you know, my father-in-law built this company, and my husband worked, all the brothers worked there, and we're celebrating, and oh, I worked there, and I just married one of the sons. And yes, we made a whole lot of money. It's not her money, because I bet you if they get divorced, my golly, she will not be so happy. I'm sure she probably had to sign a prenup too. Did she or didn't she? And when you're asked to sign a prenup when you're getting married, does that mean the person doesn't really love you? They're just thinking you want them for their money? And it goes both ways, because sometimes a woman is marrying someone who doesn't have any money, and she has lots of it. So love can be stressful. But it can also be simple. And why I say simple? Because I think if we simply love who we are, tell the person what we're expecting, how we feel about ourselves, all the faults we think we have, be open and truthful, it can be just as simple as that. Make sure you find out about the finances too, and the credit. You don't want to get a guy or a girl who has nasty credit and they come and you're burdened with their credit problems. So yes, I do believe that when you find someone these days and you're in all of these phases of thrill, make sure you do a Dun and Bradstreet on the person. Investigate them. You need to know about their family too. Is there any crazy person in that family that you need to know about? That's going to embarrass you? You need to know that too. So yes, it can be simple if we just put our cards on the table. Like you say to your husband, if you cheat, just go. Because disloyalty I can't stand. Yeah? We just got to be open and truthful about who we are. Yeah, we like all the thrill and all those other things, but make it simple by being truthful. And yes, indeed, love can be complicated. You know that? It can be so complicated because you're in love with someone, you're married to that person, but you find someone else that you love out there and you wonder, is this love real or is the one that I'm married to real? And you keep seeking and trying to find that love. So, don't complicate it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you love something, someone, and that person doesn't love you anymore, just go on to your own journey. All this killing of wives and husbands when they decide that they're going on to someone else is just absolute crazy, in my opinion. Because people, your husband decides he loves another girl. Okay, thank you very much for the years you gave. Bye. It's as simple as that and not complicated. Why would you want to stay with someone who doesn't love you anyway? Why would you want to grapple and please stay, don't go? Stop it. It's not becoming of you. And that comes back to my theme on the Diana Wright Show. I love me. So if you love yourself and your husband or your wife decides to leave you, or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your significant other, don't grapple, don't beg, just go. Don't kill, don't try to shoot anybody, stab anyone, be revengeful, just go. And you would be surprised. That person that you're walking away from, who just dumped you, will be in shock themselves. So then they will be confused. And you will be thrilled. So, love can be complicated, but you can just make it simple. Love is powerful. I said that before. But yes, it is. It is indeed a powerful emotion. It can make you mad. It can make you sad. It can make you glad. It can make you depressed. And yes, love makes a lot of people commit suicide. Indeed. A man comes home and he tells his wife, oh well, I don't think we're working out, so I'm going to leave because I found someone else who makes my life better. So she goes and she hangs herself in the bathroom. What does that mean? That means that she did not love who she was. So her love for herself was hinged on her husband staying with her all the time. And we can spin the coin and turn it into the man hanging himself when the wife comes home and says, I found me a rich guy that's better than you and I just want to go and enjoy the rich life for a minute. Yeah, we got together when we were in high school and we love and that was puppy love, but I think I've found true love now because I've not really gotten the chance to exercise myself, know myself, love myself, be myself. And that's the reason I believe that people should never get married young. Because most of the times when you get married young, you're in heat and just want to have sex. Yes, I said it. In heat. and want to have some sex. So you figure if you get married, and especially if you're a Christian and you're in the church, oh yes, because if I get married, then it's okay to have all the sex I want. But then when you find out the sex is not that great anyway, and love is not all that is cracked up to be, neither is marriage, because you find out that now when you move from being a girlfriend to a wife, you become the maid, the cook, the house cleaner, the washer, the ironer, and then the caretaker of the children. And then after doing all that, you must come to bed and have sex with your husband in a passionate way. You might not get an orgasm, but he will. And you lay there and you wonder, is this all life and love and marriage is supposed to be? So yes, I challenge you today. It's a couple days before Valentine's Day. I think it's Friday. So I challenge you to love yourself first. Love you. And remember, the day that I have declared to be the day that you celebrate you is April 30th, 2014. I actually have a CD that I wrote and recorded with the help of musician Errol Moore, who did the musical part of it. And I kind of rapped it. It's called I Love Me. And I truly, truly believe that women and girls can control their love, because I think love is controllable. You can control the way you behave when you're in love. Oh, he wined and dined me today and then I didn't hear from him tomorrow. What you gonna do? You gonna cry about that? Or you just gonna wait for him to call? And if he doesn't call, you don't call. Because you love who you are, so you're content with the fact that yesterday was wonderful. Let's just wait and see what tomorrow brings. So yes, we'll take another break and come back in just a moment and try this thing, because I think, some little things are happening with the satellite, or my fingers are touching too many buttons, or whatever. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, how rich you are, how poor you are. But there has to be a point in your life, and you will come to that point, where you have to take someone you love to the hospital. But have you ever considered that you could take that loved one, in my case, my only child, to the hospital in a normal state, and then you leave 5 months later, brain damaged, in a wheelchair, without your senses? This is my true story, Deadly Negligence, the book, available on Amazon and at my website, dianawrighttv.webs.com. I'm asking you today to get a copy. Support my story. Let us get this out there, because this story will captivate you. It will shock you. It will give you hope. It will increase your faith and make you believe in miracles again. Thank you for picking up your copy today. And just in case you know Oprah Winfrey or Tyler Perry or Mr. Levinson, let them know this is worth a movie. Thank you. Get your copy today. Okay, we are back, and this is the Diana Wright Show Live. We thank you so much for joining us from around the world and in the United States. We're talking about love, as it, not just because Valentine's is approaching, but because I really and truly want you to be loving yourself. I want you to celebrate those 3 words. I love me. And I just want you to repeat it every day, every morning you wake up. Just look in the mirror and love who you are. Love yourself. I love me. Can you say that with me? I don't care whether you're a man or a woman, because men, you have the same issues of not loving who you are either. It's just that you can camouflage it a little more. But men are getting facelifts just as much as women. Did you know? Yeah, they are. They're having liposuction and all that kind of stuff too. It's not just women. It's just for women, it's more visible. We know it more. We see it more. You know, women are just more open. But one of the greatest and the biggest and the most problematic part of love, especially when you're married and you're with someone, your significant other, your girlfriend, your boy, is communication. So why is it so important that we communicate, but yet men just don't like to communicate? So if you don't talk, there's no conversation because you're not talking. So the women talk and we talk and we talk and we get frustrated because if we don't strike up a conversation, then there's no communication. So how does that work? Interesting thought. So love means that you must communicate. Some men believe that women are discouraged easily, and so that's the reason they might fall out of love with them. And women communicate too much, as Chris Rock would say. You know, it's like, okay, women just like to talk too much, he says. But isn't communication the key? If you're having a down day at work, don't come home and take it out on me, brother. And if you're having a down day at work, sister, don't come home and take it out on your children and your husband. Isn't it a little better if you just come home and say, oh my God, I had a lousy day at work today. This is what happened. And, you know, I'm so happy to be home with my family. Don't you think that would kind of work a little better? And guys, I don't care about the fact that you don't like to talk. You need to start a conversation sometimes, because when you get on your phone with your friends, you do talk. So what's so different with talking with your friends and talking with your wife or your significant other? What's the difference? So yes, those are the things of love. As we come to a close of the program today, I just want to repeat them for you. Love is attached to power because it's powerful. It can be unexpected, can be uncomfortable to talk about, just like sex. Clumsy, yeah. You know, so that weird guy in high school who wanted to say he wanted to date you, but he was so scared. Clumsy. Hard to find true love. Love can be sudden, can be elevating, it can be wild, it can be a declaration, it can be thrilling, it can be stressful, it can be simple, it can be complicated. Love can be all those things. But when you're in love, try to communicate with your significant other or your spouse. When the love is over, allow the person to go. Don't hold any revenge or resentment in your heart. Tell you the truth, I don't even remember the people I loved. And I trust you do too. Because sometimes you look back and you go, I was in love with that person? How stupid could I have been? Look at that guy or look at that girl. But some people do regret the people they dumped. Because they look back and go, oh my God, I dumped her and look at her now, or look at him now. Yeah. Love is totally unpredictable. You love someone today, and next couple of years you want to kill that person in divorce court. Or you love someone today for the thrill and everything else, and you find out that he's an abuser or she is an abuser. So why do we need to love? Because it comforts us. It's comforting to know that your mother loves you, your father loves you, your husband loves you, your wife loves you, your children love you, and your family love you. So love is comforting also. But my golly, when people don't have love in their lives, it's painful. So love can cause you pain. Pain in my heart. Remember those songs of yesteryear? She treats me cold. Yeah. So can anyone heal the pain in your heart? I think you can begin today to heal that pain in your heart by loving who you are. And as we notice that President Francois Hollande came into town yesterday to be with President Obama, the first time in 20 years that a president of France has come to visit the United States. The pomp and pageantry at the White House, the First Lady looking beautiful in her red coat. And Mr. Hollande doesn't have his love beside him because he cheated on that love with someone else. And that person he cheated on, she was so devastated that she had to go to the hospital for days. So love can be devastating also. Just look at Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. How up and down have their marriage and their love been? And now Rand Paul is so desperate that he's taking a stab at that love. He's taking a stab at the indiscretion that President Clinton had, that we all thought that we forgot. But in desperation, Rand Paul and his wife has dredged it up, just the way they refused to kill Benghazi. Because now, Secretary of State Clinton, Senator Clinton, First Lady Hillary Clinton is being blamed for her husband's indiscretion. How many things are you going to blame women for? Is it fair to blame a woman when her husband is unfaithful? Because yes, love can be unfaithful. Do you see how many words we can attach to the word love? So I plead with you women and men as we enter the phase of the love week of chocolates and flowers and different color roses, white and red and yellow, and what they mean. Let us begin by loving who we are. And let us not try to kill that other person because they made a mistake in their life and you're going to blame their wives for it. I don't want to be blamed for my husband's infidelity. People like to tell you, oh, you know, he wasn't getting enough sex at home, that's why he cheated. Or you weren't showing him enough love. Can we just flip the shoes and put it on the other foot and see how that feels? Love is a two-way street, in my opinion. If you're giving love, you should see that love coming back to you. If you have a friend and you're the only one showing love, you need to dump that friend. Yes, I said it. You need to dump that friend. And if you're in a loveless relationship where you truly feel that that person loves you and no more, you need to go find somebody else that you can love. Love should not be miserable. Because yes, it can be miserable because you stay in it, because you're staying because of the house and the car and the children and all those other excuses. Love should be simple. Love should be thrilling. Love should be enjoyable. And love should make you feel good. So on that good note, I thank you so much for joining me today. Tomorrow, I'll be joined by my wellness guru, the leading wellness coach in the USA. That's Don from Rad Wellness. Will join me tomorrow morning right here, live on the Diana Wright Show. So we thank you so much for joining us today. And we do ask you to invite me to come and speak to your audience about loving themselves and pulling up themselves out of that trench. I'm not saying you can't be in a trench, or you can't be depressed for a day, or you can't be discouraged, because I get that way sometimes. But I will not allow myself more than a day, sometimes just hours, to meddle in that. But then I want to move out. And don't forget to join Faith, Hope, and Love Ministries with Pastor Joyce and Pastor James Williams. And they have their service every Sunday morning from 10 to 12 noon. And they promise it's only 2 hours. And it's 801 North Point Parkway, Suite 80, West Palm Beach. And the number to call again, 561-628-2630. I must get my glasses, and I must shout out again Brother Dwayne Barrett, and his company is called Ibero Property Management and Real Estate Services. His number, 561-577-0799. That's 561-577-0799. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning right here on the Diana Wright Show Live with Dax Dunn, my wellness guru. He will join me tomorrow to talk about lots of things to make you well. Have a blessed day and a blessed week. And once again, thank you so much for joining me from around the world and in the United States. Tell a friend, call a friend, and tell them about Diana Wright Show on dianawrighttv.webs.com. It will bless their heart. Have a great, great day.